Alright, this week time to unbox accessories. So I picked this up a while ago. So this is an accessory box or kit for Pathfinder. So this is actually the first time I'm actually opening this as well. So this is going to be kind of interesting. See what goodies you can get for your Pathfinder game. So I got a nice little map of like the Gloryhelm world. So this is the campaign setting for Pathfinder. So we get like a nice little cool little dice bag with it, plus a nice neat little set of dice as well. So time to become that good old dice goblin. So you, as you can see, you can get a whole set of dice with this. So you got your D4, your D6, your D8, your 2D10s. So the reason why you always want two 10s is, as you can see, like this one has like tens on it. So you do the percentages. You got a D12 and a D20. Of course, like it's always a good idea to get probably more six-sided dice as well, because like yeah, if you're also into board games and everything, so like getting extra six-sided dice would be good, because like if you look at games like Hero Quest, though those use the six-sided dice like for movement and everything, so it's always good to have like a few for extra people, so you're not passing dice around. And like you can get away with like one of like everything else, and of course you do, like I said, want to become a dice goblin, so that way, like I said, get more d6s, but you also want to get more, because like sometimes like spells become more powerful. So like for instance, like fireball, the good old classic, I cast fireball. I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast fireball. This is where stuff like D6 comes in handy, because like sometimes you get up like the 2D6, 3D6, maybe even 4 or 5D6. So this is why it's always good to be a dice goblin. So of course, the most common one you're going to be using is D20. So you might be able to get away with just one of those. But like that comes with like the set of dice for this. And you can put it in the nice, neat, little nifty dice bag. And it's got nice little artwork that looks like a dwarven artificer on the front. And of course, like gotta highlight the map of the actual campaign setting for Pathfinder. So I do have a couple books of these for this campaign setting. So I'm going to eventually get into that. So like, but that's for a later date. So the bonus is that you actually get this good old comic book. So as you can see in the corner, the good old Paizo. You go to paizo.com to get like all the stuff that you need. Of course, I'm always big on going to your local gaming store. So like what you can do with the paizo.com is go online, check the stuff out there, then go to your local gaming store, and then be like, oh hey, look, I saw this stuff online, can you be able to get to it? So as you can see, we can actually get into this book and everything. Secret origin of the Pathfinder iconics. So a little like a blurb, a little stuff you can pause and read. And so now we actually get into like the actual, as you can see, this is like a good old like comic story. So you could pick up this and get this, and this would be like a perfect for getting like an idea on how to actually run like a Pathfinder campaign. So as you can see, like kind of flip through this kind of relatively quickly, so that way they don't give like too much away for the story and stuff. So and then getting into like actual artwork and stuff, and so Ghostbusters theme, so that looks kind of cool. So and then we get into like Chronicles and stuff. So this is kind of like a first time going through this, so this is kind of new for me. So like a Sandpoint, it looks like it's I know like I've done stuff on that, like that's coming up and everything. So you get like a nice little map of like a actual Sandpoint. So like a good campaign setting with this, and then like bunch of NPCs, good like a good campaign set. So like pre-made characters that you could use, like a kind of like a starter set type of deal. So you get you can use this to get kind of speaking of like the artificer, we got the good old Harsk here. So that's the actual character right there. So actually a male dwarf ranger. So like calling him an artificer, I was premature and everything. So I stand corrected. So as you can see, this is because this is my first time going through this as well. So this is like a kind of what happens when you do an unboxing, like with stuff like this. It's kind of like all new for me as well. So I'm kind of like, ooh, get in the candy store. So as you can see, we got a bunch of like different like adventure ideas, kind of like one-shot campaigns. And speaking of Dice Goblin, here we go, Dice Goblin. So we got like a nice little kind of concepts for like a one-shot, like a kind of like a dungeon delving type of deal, and a bunch of like pre-made characters. And of course, here we see like it shows showcases like the beginner box. And like I'm always big on like saying like this is pretty much like a good place to start for anything, because it's relatively cheaper than getting stuff like your core rulebook. Of course, this stuff like this just kind of like whets the appetite and everything. So like we can see here like $35 for the beginner box, and like that's typical because usually it's $35 for beginner box starter set. So it's great to kind of get you introduced to it and kind of whet the appetite. Core rulebook here you can see like it's $50, so that's what I usually say. It's usually cheaper to get into stuff like this, just to kind of like look into it, like, oh hey, yeah, this is something I actually do want to get into. And then of course, if that's the case, you just can start getting into this something like the core rulebook and start getting Game Master Guide. Of course, with showcasing this is something that you can use to kind of like get a nice little poster that like I'm let's see if I can actually rip this out as I'm doing this in real time and everything. So oh yeah, I ripped it. Let's see as I mess things up. All right, there we go. One little rip. All right. And then it actually gives us the map of like the Sandpoint hinterlands. So let's see here, where can we actually find this actual Sandpoint? Let's see here. Ashen Manor. Okay, here we go. Here's Sandpoint. So pretty much like the city we saw in the kind of like a surrounding area. So like with the through the book, and especially in the back, it was like a one-shot dungeon delves type of deal. It gives us like something like quick and easy to be able to play. So like this was like $30 itself, so it's an accessory kit, but like as you can see, you could in a sense use it as like a kind of like a delve into the actual Pathfinder itself and everything. So like if you got like the beginner box that was showcased in the back here, plus like all this these like PCs and NPCs and stuff that they have. So like getting back to the beginner box, you could do this plus this accessory kit and get pretty good a decent amount of gameplay to get started and everything. So you'd want to get like the eventually, if you get into this, you'd want to get like the core rule books and stuff. So of course, this is the showcasing the first. This is like a first edition. And second edition Pathfinder has come out and everything, so you might want to get into that too. So it depends. Like I mean, to each his own. So I have a bunch of the first edition Pathfinder books, and so and as far as I know, only the core rule book and the Game Master Guide for second edition is out now. Things could have been released since then. I have yet to come across anything, and of course, people can jump in and chime in to kind of correct me if there's more stuff that has come out for second edition. So if you do have like the first edition books and stuff, you could quite possibly easily just like upgrade it to second edition anyway. So this is kind of like a quick one to kind of do like a showcase of like an accessory kit I had picked up. So this is kind of cool because even if it's just for the dice, which is always nice because you can, my opinion, being a dice goblin, you can never have enough dice, and but you get like the good old like map of the actual campaign setting for Pathfinder, and like of course you do have like your this kind of like a focusing in on the actual Sandpoint hinterlands that you saw going through the flip through. So this would be a decent pickup as an accessory to the game. So like eventually I'll probably be getting into second edition for Pathfinder as well.